Hey, what's up, everybody? Another Saturday night here for the Bar League. It's your host, Mr. Hollywood, here, as always, bringing you guys the recap. And let me bring my partner right along here. I'm talking about Big D in the house, baby. What's up, Big D?
What's up, man? How are you?
Exhausted, man. I'm exhausted, a bit tired, but we got to do the show, man. Got to do the show. Unfortunately, couldn't run it last night, but I just got home a few minutes ago and powered everything on here. I know you made some cool graphics for us. I think a lot of the guys will like that when we get into the stars of the week. Not only you guys gonna hear it from us, but you're gonna see the graphic up on your screen. But yeah, we're ready to rock and roll here, baby. Big D, how's your week gone so far, man?
It's been good. Uh, on on Tuesday, we won our first playoff game. The Armstrong Riverhawks beat Hempfield. We beat them 12-1. So yeah, it's been a good week. Just been chilling, um, playing a lot of hockey on here, and coaching with the boys. So it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome, awesome. Getting a lot of hockey. I've seen a lot of hockey this week. Um,
hmm
but also, I got a little birdie that's telling me that Big D may be on the move yet again, man. So find out for that. But well, let's take a look what happened here this week. There was a bit of a surprise here. Some of the same, more of the same. Scrub City still on top there once again. Another week on. They went 5-1 this past week. Right now they're 17-5-2, 36 points, and their lead seems to be getting bigger as we go week by week now. Now they're six ahead of the team below them, which is the Ice Hogs. The frontline Ice Hogs back at that number two slot here after last week. Last week they went down a bit, but they're back on top here now. 30 points, below Scrub City. They went 4-2 this week. They had a pretty decent week. They're at 14-7-2. And I think they still have a makeup game maybe on that. And then you got the Riverhawks. Riverhawks making the move. I don't know. Big D was speaking a lot about these guys last week, and they went 4-2, 14-9-1, 29 points, only one behind the Ice Hogs. But here's where it gets a bit different. The Magos. What the hell happened here? 1-5 this past week. They dropped, man. I mean, they were at like number two or tied up there, not too far from Scrub City, but they dropped after going 1-5. They're 12-11. They're just above 500 on here. Is that a sign of concern? And then you got the oldies. Oldies too had a terrible week. 1-4-1. They're still there at that fifth spot, but they had a chance this week, man. Especially the way the Magos played, they had a chance to move up, but they didn't. And then you got the Warriors, who are playing better each week on here. Unfortunately, for the bad start this season, if they did not have that bad start, these guys could have been up there, man. They went 3-2-1. They're at 6-17-1 right now, only 4 points behind the oldies. And that's where we stand right now. Big D, man, what do you think? What do you think of this past week? I mean, looking at the standings, are you surprised by any of this or what?
Um, no, not really. Um, I think I think for now, I got the Warriors ahead of the Oldies right now. They're playing really well. Oldies has just been in the tank. They've just been not playing well at all. So it's it seems like that we've had the uh same amount of stats throughout the week, like 4-2, 4-2, 3-3, 3-2. Pretty even. But I'm gonna have to put the Warriors up above the Oldies here. They've been playing well since the trade and have made some moves, and they're doing pretty well right now.
I gotta agree with you there, man. I mean, if we take a look at what are you doing now, lately on here, Warriors definitely playing better hockey than the oldies. Oldies just been, on that cruise control and same week in, week out on here. while the Warriors these past 2 weeks have stepped up. They've beaten Scrub City not once but twice this season, and would have been three times of that win that got taken away early on in the season. But they did beat them twice on there, and that just shows you how this Warriors team is capable of doing. And and I wouldn't be surprised, Big D, if after this week, if the Warriors take them in the standings.
Yeah, oldies would have been. I think the oldies would have been 0-5 or something like that. 0 and
Yeah.
6 maybe. Because the oldies had taken a forfeit lost win against the Magos because the Magos have not they did not, I guess, put screenshots or something in within the 24-hour limit. So that sucks, but hey, rolls are rolls. But
What a lousy way to take a loss, Big D, man. Lousy.
yeah, that is a lousy loss. Well, I mean, it's good for the oldies, but that's a lousy way to take a loss, especially for the Magos, because they're still playing 500 hockey, but still, like that takes them over the 500 mark. So that's just kind of shitty.
And especially this week for the Magos, they could not afford that, man. What the hell happened with the Magos besides that? You know what I mean? Even if you consider that, okay, so if they won that game, they enter the stats, they'll be at they'll still be 2-4 this week. Not a good week on there, but not entering the stats on their photos or whatever they had to input was just a sign of how terrible this week was for the Magos, and I'm very surprised. I actually praised this team, how good they were, how good they did. Is it the moves they've made that hasn't been paid off? Was there a big availability issue this week? What happened with the Magos that they went 1-5? Besides that loss that they had to take.
I think it's because four guys on the team. No, five. I mean, more four, but there's only four guys that are consistently playing. Maggle, Seifert, Section, and Wildcard. And two guys only on the team are producing big numbers. So, like, Maggle's at 48 points, and Seifert's at 29 points, and Section has 17 points. Other than that, I mean, you have guys like Casper Cabby, who only played 4 and 5 games. Fly's only played 3. Vivop's actually played 10, but he's played 8 in goal. And then the rest is just 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, and I don't know. I just they need more availability. I mean that's what I'm gonna guess.
Well, I mean, when you start the week off, you lose 8-1 against the Riverhawks to start a Monday. For the Magos. I mean, they took a beating that game. I don't know if you were in that game, Big D, but man, 8-1, not good, man.
No, that's a pretty tough loss. I mean, I was not in that game. I believe we had our starting lineup with like Jay Sawyer and Pockets and Dizzy Bone and all those guys. So they pounded them the first game, but.
That's the game that Mizzy Mike threw the double hattie, man. 6 goals in that freaking game, man. Wow. Shout out to him, man.
Heck yeah. Mizzy's good.
And then if not anything else, Crazy played out of his mind on there. Freaking 95 save percentage in that game. So Magos had no shot in that one. And outside of that, you take that loss plus the other loss we mentioned before, and the Magos dropped, man. And I said this earlier. I said this was the chance for the oldies to move up in the standings, because when Magos go 1-5 on a week, you get a couple of wins, because right now they're 7 points behind. Had they won a couple of games on there and narrowed that gap down to like 4 or something, man. That would such a much better boost, momentum boost, like everything, for the oldies, and they needed that type of week, but unfortunately, They couldn't get it, even with that freaking their only win of the week. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, like I said, the only win came from a forfeit loss to the Magles, but I don't know if like oldies are really doing much. I know that they had sent down or waived um what's their goalie's name? Ballsy, I believe that they sent him down. I don't know if it's just moves or what they need to do. They traded Stump.
I saw
Like
that.
so, like that would be considered their best defenseman if he decided to play goal, or not goal defenseman. So being that he's playing left wing, um, I, I don't know. I would have at least been like, hey, like, do you want to play 50-50 games defense or what? But I mean that's a huge loss to them. And
Stump went to the Warriors, right? He ended up in the Warriors at that.
yeah,
Wow.
that's what I mean. Like, so the Warriors, they got some help back there. You know, they made some moves, and they're slowly gonna start rising. I mean, I think they're gonna be a team to be reckoned with here pretty soon.
I think the only thing stopping the Warriors right now, Big D, is the time, man. The number of games, man. You know the how much he's in. Because I mean, they're playing great, man. They're playing great. I mean, you look at the performance this week. They played better than the Oldies. They played better than the Magos. You know, they're right there with the Riverhawks and Ice Hawks as far as win wise. You know, one win away from that. So I mean, they're in there. They're beating Scrub City, the number one team. You know, in
Yeah,
this league. They've beat them twice this season, you know.
yeah.
So they have the talent to do so. It's just, do they have enough time? Do you think there's enough time for the Warriors to still make that playoff push? Is it possible? I know mathematically it is, but if we're thinking it, you know, are they gonna do it, man?
I think they can, but they have to put a like series of wins together.
Yeah.
I mean, they can definitely catch the oldies. I mean, they're only 2 games behind them. But if they put like say a week, like let's just say mathematically they go 6-0 during the week, and let's just say Magos lose the game. Oh, like they don't win a single game. They're in third place or fourth place. So if they could put a series of wins together, they could do it. Like if say for instance they go 4-2 for the remainder of the season, go 4-2 each week. They can potentially get in. So they just got to keep playing good hockey.
I gotta agree with you there, man. You know, and I think this team could be dangerous, man. Should they be able to do so, and especially if the Magos do that same style that they did last week, if they do the same performance here this week, man. Watch out, you know, especially the oldies. Oldies will be overtaken here this week if that happens. But still a lot of work to be done. You know, a lot of trades did happen and they continue to happen. So they still keep making trades on there. So we'll see if that benefits on that. What about the damn Riverhawks? Big D, you know, you talked a lot about this team, man. And 4-2 this week. Some big impressive wins too. This week to move up. Only 1 point now behind the Ice Hogs. I guess you knew what you were talking about last week, man.
Yeah, they. If you look over their roster, they're very deep. They have. I mean, let's just look at their stat line. Like you got Mizzy, Mike, Dizzy Bone, Jay Sawyer, Max Shrimp, which they repicked up. They waived them and then repicked them up.
That's crazy.
He went to like the Ice Hogs for like a small stint, and then they have Pockets, King Quick, Huncho Mikey, and then Pringmeister. Pringmeister's played 2 games and he's got 14 points. Like that's awesome. So if you look at their points, 48, 48, 42, 38, 36, 31, 25. They're getting consistent consistent points throughout the lineup. So to me, that's telling me they're deep. And not only that, but they have a really solid goaltender in Krejci, Doc, whoever you want to call them. So to me, if they keep playing the way they play, they're gonna. I mean, they're gonna battle Scrub City. If Scrub City keeps playing the way they're playing, they're gonna stay first. They're gonna be the team beat. But for me, Riverhawks is number 2.
Okay, okay. Well, look, I mean, Riverhawks. We talked about that 8-1 win against the Magos. I wish Hoagie was on the air here today with us because what the hell happened against the Ice Hawks? They put up 12 goals on the Ice Hawks. Did you play in that one, Big D, or you know anything about that game? I was like, what was it, like a 12-5 final against the Ice Hawks?
I did not. I did not play in that game. I believe it was on Tuesday. It was the second game. They won 12-5. I don't know. I didn't get to see it, but the score says it all. I mean, 12-5. I mean, what happened was it was probably a close game between like the first and second periods, because we have a rule in bar league that if you're up by 7 in the second period, you can quit out. Mercy rule. So it could have been a closer game, and then they just blew up in the third.
Yeah, that's the game of how do you call this guy's name? Pringemeister. 7 goals, 2 assists, 9 points out of those 12 goals there. Wow. And
Yeah.
another thing, Big Boy Rash played for the Ice Hawks. I think after this game he got dropped, man. Just like that. They did not look good at all here. I wish Hoagie was on the air, get his thoughts on this one. But man, so that was very impressive, man. I gotta say, man, for the Riverhawks moving up on there, only 1 point behind the Ice Hogs, and very good week for them.
Yeah. I played in the last 2 games. I don't think we played very well. I think we played Wednesday. We went 1-1. So we beat the Oldies 6-2, and then we lost the Magels 6-2.
Okay, okay, okay. And it's interesting to see that Max Shrimp back on the squad. It's like they sent him out on vacation for a week. Like, all right, all right, you come back on here, man.
Yeah.
do you think Max Shrimp is pissed about that, or he's like, all right, yeah, like, how would you feel? I mean, you get moved, right, and then you're another week, and now you're back on that same squad, man. You still play with that same mentality on there? You like these guys traded me off, or you just take it under the chin and like, all right, I'm gonna round 2. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been just like, I don't know exactly how rosters. Like I haven't owned it a couple seasons, so I don't know if things have changed. But I don't know if it was just like hey, we're gonna try and get some cap down to make some moves or what. But I don't know. Shrimp's a good player. I think he gets. I don't think he's as good as an offensive player as he is as a D man. And I know that I think last season he kind of, after going and winning a cup with his team, he kind of just felt like that he needs to play offense all the time and uses that big ass build. I
Power
just,
forward.
my opinion, I think he's a better D man. He's a better stay home D man. He'll wreck you on the blue line with that big build, and I don't know. From what I've heard, I haven't seen him play a lot of season, but I've heard that he'll have really good games and he'll have really bad games.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's not as consistent. And to me, he's always, like, the way I've played against him or played with him, he's always been consistent on defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, the guy plays everything on there forward, even in net. I've seen him. So, but I agree with you. I definitely, if I was to draft him, I definitely like him on D more. Absolutely, and I think maybe that's why I think maybe the move happened, because I was kind of surprised when it first did. I didn't think they were gonna move him, but maybe that was the reason. Because they did get some trades, they did pick up some different talent. Maybe they thought they had better scoring wise or put up better points without him, but he's back on there, so it's like they didn't lose anybody, man. Back on that squad, so we'll see what happens. It was a good week for the Riverhawks, so I guess they're doing something good.
Yeah. I don't know. On paper, they're the second best team, so that's where I'm going to keep them.
We mentioned in the chat that 12 goals put up by the Riverhawks, that they hit the mercy rule 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. So okay. So there we go with that. Where are we jumping up next here, man? Big D. Um, any trade talk? Any locker room talk we want to go over? We want to go into our top stars, leaders.
Let's do our top stars first.
All right. All right. So Big D put this together. I just threw it on here last minute. We're gonna try to split it up next time, but right now just put both of them on this, and graphic wise and everything, so you guys are gonna see. So Big D's gonna take away first with his 3 stars from this past week, and then I'll provide you guys with mine.
Yeah. So I can't really see. I can't see like the
Oh, it's
whatever you had. Yeah, I can't see anything. So I'm just gonna go with what I got on paper.
That's
So
fine.
for
I'll just loop this, man. So it'll go around. They'll see it, man.
yeah, so for my third star, I got geez, I don't even remember. Hold on. Well, anyway, one of my stars is Dizzy Bone. 4 games played, 4 goals. No, 6 games played, 4 goals, 16 assists for 20 points. And then for my other star, I got Pringmeister. He played 2 games, 9 goals, 5 assists for 14 points. And then I have, I believe it's Geezer. 4 games played, 5 goals, 12 assists for 17 points. Also, I'm going to throw this out there. I also have an honorable mention. I know that he might be on one of your stars of the week, but I got Valsdy as an honorable mention, so I'll allow you to explain to them about why you picked him. So those are my 3 stars of the week.
Hell yeah, I got Volzy on my list. He is definitely one of the guys on here. Tremendous in net. 38 shots faced, 36 saves, 94.5 save percentage. And there's a lot of talk about this guy, in the chat, in the Discord, in the Xbox parties. People be talking about this guy, and rightfully so. The numbers on that, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. And he's been doing not only that, it's not just been this past week, but he's been putting up good numbers each week. My other guy on here is Huncho Mikey. 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points in just 2 games played. That's 7 points a game on that Big D. I don't know if it could get any better than that. If Huncho Mikey's out there more, then yeah. But the 2 games he played, tremendous. Definitely deserves my star. And I'm putting this guy. I had this guy as my star, I think, every week almost now. I'm talking about Jay Whips. The man's a beast, and he's been putting up crazy points week in, week out. And this week was no different. 19 goals, 7 assists, 26 points. Guy almost got 30 points this week. That's how crazy. And that's why, this Scrub City team is still dominant. We mentioned, when they don't have older guys, when they don't have this guys, well, they got Jay Whips, and he's fitting that puzzle real well, Big D.
Yeah, so I completely missed that. Like, I don't know how I missed that. So I was going through the stats, and you said Jay Whips, and I looked at his stats to like do the little video thing, and I was like, holy balls, how did I miss that? 19 goals?
This guy doesn't, Big D.
Like, there was a rumor that Jay Whips was going to be traded, like, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago. Like, holy cow. Like, good thing they didn't. Like, this dude's just tearing it up right now. 6 game played, 19 goals, 7 assists, 26 points. That's Geezer level. That's Geezer and Barrow level. So if that's your first line, Barrow, Geezer, and Jay Whips, forget it. Nobody's beating you.
The thing is, nobody's talking about him though, Big D. Like you don't see him in the chat. You don't see much mention about Jay Whips on there. But the man, I mean, his points are doing the talking for him, man. I mean, you can't discount the guy. I mean, just when he came in this season, in this league, he's been dominant. He's been strong for the Scrub City team. I would not trade this guy at all. If I'm Scrub City, man, I do not move this guy because, I mean, he's a huge part for this team. I mean, they're the reason
Yeah.
why they've only lost 5 games this whole season.
Yeah, I think the reason why people don't talk about him a whole lot is I think it's just because it's pretty much like, okay, it's Geezer and Barrow, like we know. I think people know, like, okay, it's predicted. Okay, these guys are good. Yeah, okay. I think that's why they're not talked about so much, is because it's almost expected. And it should be, because they're lighting it up right now.
Absolutely. One guy people are not talking about is McTricky, man. Where the hell is he, man? It's like a ghost this season, Big D.
Um, so I heard from a little birdie that he had put in his TR.
Wow.
So if anybody's out there looking for a solid left winger and center, I'd pick up my tricky. I don't know if it's because of availability. I know he plays LG. I actually haven't talked to McTricky in a while. And I really enjoy playing with him. He's a really good player. So I don't know if it's just availability issues of why he's not playing, but I mean, I feel like if oldies want to try and get something going, you got to put this guy in.
Right.
Like he's good. So I don't know. I just if it was me, I would look and try and pick him up because he's awesome.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Any moves that and I've seen I don't know if it's me or maybe it's just me. There's been a lot more trades happening, man, as the weeks have gone. First 2 weeks was very quiet. Last week, yeah, a couple of, but now we're seeing a lot more moves and transactions being made. Are we gonna see more of that? You think, or what, man?
It depends. Like for the first couple weeks, you kind of got to fill your team out. You don't really go through the draft thinking that you're going to trade somebody. So you kind of go through the draft. You kind of see if for the first couple weeks, you kind of get chem going, see who plays best with who. It depends on, if people are multi positions, you want to, throw people in different positions, see how they play. It's basically just feeling out on how your team's going to play best. And then around like, say week 3, week 4, you kind of have an idea and whether or not people are going to work or not. So then you kind of start to make moves and look to, if people are not, happy with the team, or they're not just playing, or they're not playing well, or some guys are just, they don't have chem with other people, like like either whether or not they're selfish, or they just carry the puck too much, or they don't pass, or they're just out of position. So a lot of that is more like, week 3, week 4, you kind of figure that out, and whether or not you're going to move guys or not. So towards the later of the season, more moves will happen, which, more moves are starting to happen now. And And I do believe that the trade deadline
That's when the fire
is,
sale goes on, man. Right?
yeah, like people start shifting and moving, and I do believe it's within, I think, a week or two. I could be wrong, but yeah. So that's normally how the trade deadline goes. And by the way, we do have trades to announce. So within the last week, um, I think there's been 3 trades. I believe one actually happened 20 minutes ago. So,
Man.
uh, so the Magos have acquired Kozak 12 from Scrub City for JT Diesel and 25K in cap space. I can't really say anything on either of these two players because I don't know any of them. I've never seen them play or played with them. So about a couple hours later, Front Ice Hogs have acquired Shefty XV and Shawnee on the spot for Mac Shrimp. So Mac Shrimp goes back to the Riverhawks, and Frontline Ice Hogs get those 2 players. I mean, we've obviously commented on Mac Shrimp. We know how he plays, but the other 2, not sure I know them. I think I played 1 game with Shawnee on the spot, and he wasn't a bad D man. He was kind of in position. It was easy to pass to. So, and then the last one
Do you
was
think the Riverhawks made
oh,
that
go ahead.
move? I mean, it was a 2-for-1 deal on that. Was it more of to open up space on that roster thing? They had to make the moves. I don't know if Shrimp played on the Ice Hogs when they versed each other this past week or not. But going back there, so a lot of times this is interesting with the 2-for-1 deal as far as who got the better end of that trade, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like I don't know much about the other 2, but we do know Shrimp. I mean, he's been here season after season. He's been on championship teams. We'll see. I mean, Riverhawks are making some. As far as like moves and trades, like Riverhawks have made quite a lot of moves, man.
Yeah, I think more or less the Shrimp trade was more of a. To be quite honest, I don't even understand it. But for them to get Max Shrimp back, I think he was a high cap. So they had to move at least 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure that the River Hawks they're not struggling on the cap, but they're pretty close to the limit. So when you get that close, you're gonna have to move at least one high cap guy, or at least several, maybe TCs or lower end cap guys, so you can make some room to kind of fill Max Shrimp in that spot.
I just want to quickly mention in the chat there, Chad mentioned next Sunday is the trade deadline. So
There you have it. That's why all these trades are happening. And then for our last trade, that happened literally 20 minutes ago, I got traded again.
So we came on the right time, man.
Yeah, so I got traded to Hoagie's team, and in return, the Riverhawks got Patriots. I guess his gamer tag now is Oscar9, but Patriots goes to Riverhawks, and Ice Hogs retained $500K of his salary. So about this move, me and CN were talking about it a little bit a couple days ago, and
is he related to Pickles or no? Or is it I'm thinking about somebody else?
Hoagie is really good friends with Pickles.
No, I was talking about Patriot. I was talking about Patriot.
I don't really know, to be quite honest.
Maybe I got 2 guys mixed up. No, go ahead, man.
So me and CN were talking about this trade not this trade, but we were talking about our team a couple days ago, and I told him, I was like, look at your roster. Like, there's no real space for me there. You got Dizzy on right wing, or Dizzy Bone, yeah, on right wing, and we were talking about how So so there's not so how do I want to explain this without sounding bad? So Jay Sawyer is a monster on D, but he like 45% of the game he doesn't play defense. So um the way I know Jay Sawyer is he was a big defenseman, big build, very defensively. That's when I played against him in the GHL and he's owned an LG. That's what how I know him for. But in this season, he's played a smaller build, real fast, can move the puck. He's very agile on the ice. So he's been playing a smaller build on defense. And because of that, he's been in the rush a lot. He's basically playing offense. So I told CN, I was like, if you put me and Sawyer together, it's hard for me to continue to play the way I play if Sawyer's always up because I got to come back and I got to fill the spot. So to me, I told him, I was like, you got Dizzy, you got Sawyer on that right wing, and now you got Max Shrimp. It kind of phases me out. And I basically told him, I was like, I don't want to be traded, but I'm the odd man out. So if you want to trade me, go ahead. So this is pretty much where this trade comes from. So they basically retooled and they got more depth on the back end with Patriots. And Patriots is a solid D man, real good defenseman. He can shoot the puck, he can provide offense, and not only that, but he can control the puck well too. So that's going to help them really well in the back end. And I think the reason for this move was I think they're going to try and move Jay Sawyer up and let him play right wing because he's basically playing as a right winger. To me, that's a smart move. That's a general manager or an owner coming in and taking control of his team and being like, okay, let's try this now because let's try and make this the best thing that we can. And to me, this move makes sense. I didn't want to be traded, but this move makes sense, the most sense for me. And Ice Hogs get me. I can play games at right wing. I can play goalie. So it helps them. And then not only that, but they get defense, which helps Riverhawks as well. I think that's a pretty good move in my eyes. It's a good move for both teams.
Okay. What do you guys think there in the chat, man? Who won that trade? Who's gonna benefit out of that trade? I don't know if I agree, Big D, man. I don't think it was a good move. I think, especially, Riverhawks, like I said, they came out looking real good this past week. I don't know if I jump into trades or make moves, man. I think what they had was working. Was coming through, maybe give it some time, but and only 1 point behind the Ice Hogs. They were moving up, got past the Magos. Like I said, 4-2 this past week, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I would make that trade. You know, but I guess I mean if they don't see that, it's not just about making playoffs, but it's about winning the whole thing. And if feels that this trade, this move is gonna do that, justify that, but. I don't know if I agree with that, Big D. I don't know what the other guys think. We'll see. I mean, we'll see this week what happens if that's what he's going to do as far as if he's going to be moving guys around. But then that brings the other problem, other situation, because now, you've played most of the season this way, and now, you're bringing this guy to play forward or dropping this guy back D. You're bringing Shrimp back on the squad on there. I think sometimes a lot of moves is not good either, especially this late in the season.
I think also it was kind of a cat. If it was kind of a cap move, because I got picked up second round, so my cap would have been 4 or 4.5 mil. So I don't know if it was a cat. I think it partially could have been a cap move, but I mean, maybe it's just them trying to feel things out. Like I know, like I said, Jay Sawyer basically plays wing on D, so it really handicaps that right wing. It's not that he's a bad player. I mean, he's playing in the wrong position for the game style he's trying to play. So for him to move up to right wing and maybe throw Shrimp on the back end and get Patriots back there, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
could see that happening. I definitely could see that. Especially with Max Shrimp, back there, I could easily see that happening. But all right, well, we'll see. We'll see what Patriots brings to the team on there. But it's just like it seems like this Riverhawks team each week is a different team out there, that we see. And but hey, if it's to benefit the squad, this is what helps to propel them. Good for them. Trade deadline's coming up anyway. So if you're gonna make that move, you got to make the moves now before
yeah.
too late. So we'll see what happens. We see what happens. We got Snipe in the chat says that they win the. I guess he's saying that they won that trade.
Yeah, that's what he says. We got a 1 million player and a TC, I guess. I don't know. But are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it went really dark for a second. I just heard myself. But yeah. So I don't know. I guess apparently, like Officer Snipe is saying, like they needed to make a move. So and I guess so. Since I'm a multi-position player, I can play goalie and wing, and I think that allows Valsey to kind of play a few games of forward and then play me if like have you ever seen Valsey play out of net? Dude's unreal. Like he's been so like we've been having this Michigan off. So like he's been putting in the highlights films of him like doing these Michigan goals and they're fantastic. Kid's a really good player, or well not kid, but dude is really good player outside of net. So I think that's good for. I think it's good for the Ice Hawks to gives them more balance throughout the lineup. And if Valsey wants to play out a couple games, then that allows me to step back and get some games in net. So vice versa. I mean, if we switch,
I mean, that's all
still
good
get
and
talent.
fine, I mean, but still, I don't take Volsey out. No way, man. I mean, he's having a tremendous season in that. I keep him there as many games as I could. Um, I mean, all right. So I mean, if he's good at forward, that's good for that. But why would you take somebody that's pretty much a freaking wall this season out from there? I don't know. I yeah, I keep it in that uh, every time I get a chance to. But that's me though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they decide to do with that. But ain't Volsey trying to get that Vesna trophy or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, if they keep playing the way they are playing, I think Valsey and Krejci's going to be the front runners for the Vesna. I don't see anybody close. That's just my opinion. If I know Jingles only played 2 games, but if he continues to play in that, I mean, he could make a running. But for right now, Valsey and Krejci they're the ones to beat.
I can't disagree with you there. Absolutely. But all right. Do we have I don't. Did they send you, or did you make a power updated power rankings, or what's going on with that? Someone's going to be posting those or no?
I didn't hear anything, but I mean, I can give you my power rankings. I do have them, so they've not changed from last week. But for me, the only 2 positions that swap is the Warriors and Oldies. Warriors are my number 5 and Oldies are my 6. I feel like the last the last week, Warriors have made some serious moves. They've made moves and they've played some serious games where they've won, especially beating Scrub City. I mean, that's pretty good. And I don't know what to say about the oldies. They've been struggling. So for my power rankings, I got Scrub City at 1, Riverhawks at 2, Ice Hogs at 3, Muggles at 4, Warriors at 5, oldies at 6.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you're dead on with the Magos. I was too confident with these guys, and after this week, you know, I mean, on the standings they dropped down. Are they gonna drop even lower than that? We'll see what happens. Um, Riverhawks and Ice Hogs though, neck to neck over there, 1 point difference. So we could see that change happening this week easily, and. Especially after that trade, that those moves. So we'll see if it will either see Riverhawks on top, I think, or Icehawks still staying there at that number 2 spot. Um, so depending. But right now, I don't know. Do you think if anybody's gonna be able to catch up to the Scrub City team? I mean, they're just dominant week in, week out. You know, they haven't had a bad week at all this season. Uh, is anybody catching up to them in the first place, or can we lock them in, man?
I think the Riverhawks can catch them. Like I said, it depends on these roster moves and how they play. But if they can consistently keep winning, like they have been, I mean, like they've had like these stretches where like in the beginning of the week they're really good, and at the end of the week they're not so good. So if they can continue to be good all week, like Scrub City has been, I think they catch them. Not catch them, but they can compete for that number 1 spot.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, trade deadline. Following Sunday. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a couple more moves made, especially if you we're gonna see more moves done here in the standings. If teams drop more or climb up there, there'll definitely be some more trades done. Do you think the Magos is a team that will look to move somebody, man?
I would I don't know. To be completely honest,
Or you think they just had an off week, man? Like what was it this week?
they could have just had an off week, but I think it's more or less like that's so this team is a lot of consisted of the old Thrashers or Phantoms, the old Phantoms that used to be in Bar League. So like Maggle Seaford, I think they're the two owners, Maggle and Seaford. So they kind of brought in like a lot of the old gang. I don't know. Like they got some solid players. They just need to play. Like Casper's solid. He's got 4 games, 16 points. But he's only played 4 games. It's
Jeez.
been 3-4 weeks now.
Yeah,
So,
4 weeks.
I mean, so I don't know. They got Lambo. And he's only played 1 game. G Guard's only played 4 games. So I don't know if it's just a mixture of
Uh,
guys not playing and guys playing LG instead. So their main goaltender is Vivop. So he's actually been pretty solid. He has a winning record of 5-3. But I don't know. I don't know if they make trades or not. I don't know if they're okay with 500 hockey or what. But to me, they need to make a move. They need to make somebody. They need to get somebody in here that's going to provide them more availability and get points. So because they only got 2 people producing fully a lot. So
yeah, you need availability. I mean, that's not good. 4 games and we've played 24 already. That's not even half. That's like what one fourth. So
yeah,
yeah, and if they're not, I mean, then yeah, you got to make that move or or send them down or something because but I don't know. I mean, on paper, Magos look deadly, man. I mean, they look, um, that's why I ranked them so high,
Yeah.
and then after this week, it was like, man, they let me down. They let me down, but we'll see if they could get back to the winning ways here this week, or they'll be one of those teams that make that big fire sale before the deadline comes up. We'll see.
But they don't really have much D. Like their top defenseman's wild card.
Uh,
And I mean, who else do you have back there? I mean, you got Sage, but he's got 8 games, 2 points. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a forward issue or a D issue. But to me, just by looking at stats, they need defensemen.
mm.
Unless yeah, I mean they need defensemen. I thought Seifert was playing D, but no, he's playing forward. So, but I think as far as the trade deadline, I think the most interesting thing is I'm waiting to see where Tricky goes. I do know. So just by looking at his
I
stats, he's
hope,
only played
I
5.
hope he doesn't land on Scrub City.
Yeah, because if he goes to Scrub City, that you might as well kiss
give
it goodbye because
give
they're
give
going
him
to
the
win it.
cup, right?
Yeah, I mean, but he's only played 5 games. 5 games, 14 points. So I don't know if it's just I don't know if they're just playing with their regular lineup every night. I mean, because Chaos Mouth's got 14 games played, Lusky's got 17 games played, Sloppy Seconds got 12, and the Peach got 17. And everybody else is kind of random. So I mean, they did get Heartsy in net, so that does help them. But I don't know. But I do know that McTricky has put his TR in. So basically what happens with that is if he goes, so if he puts say he put his TR in on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
it has to go like I think it's 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be so the team has to trade him within 7 days. If not, he will be set down and then he's put into I believe FA so people can bid on him.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not picked up and then he goes into RA, I believe he gets suspended for 2 games. And then he'll get randomly assigned to a team. I think that's the way it goes.
Now, does FA end at the same time as the trade deadline too, or no? Or does that
No,
work separately?
I
Okay.
believe FA's every Friday night.
Okay. So
So
even after the
when
trade deadline, you could still do that. You're saying?
I do believe so.
Okay. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. All right. So that makes sense on there. So, I mean, well, regardless, either way, it's still going to be before the trade deadline. So it's going to be it's
Yeah.
definitely going to be big news on the boards there on that Discord once that does happen. You know, but we'll see. I don't know. I haven't seen like there hasn't been like a really big blockbuster trade like like a big big one going down. You think we're gonna see something like really huge this week or much of the same? Just like 2-for-1 deal here. Maybe this.
Um, I think it's going to be more the same. I think the big guns are. I mean, you're not going to see like Barrow or Geezer or anybody of them being traded. Um, you're not going to. I mean, everybody's got their top players, so naturally within this league, people that want big players like a Geezer or a Barrow, there's going to be like you're going to have to sell an arm and a leg for them.
Oh man.
You're gonna, so don't expect guys like them to move. So like even like say let's just give an example. Like say Scrub City goes to Riverhawks and says, "Hey, what would you want for Jay Sawyer?" They would have to give up like a Barrow or a Geezer or someone of that caliber to replace.
Hmm.
It's just the way it is.
No, and that's what I was talking about. Like you think there's gonna be something big like that going down? Not two big top dogs being moved, or we're just gonna see guys like Big D being moved around, man.
Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anybody big going.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah, I'm just a scrub now.
You think this is your final resting place on this season, or you think there's still time for a move, man? I mean,
I mean, there's only two more teams I can go to. I mean, but
who
I
haven't you
think,
played on? Yeah.
yeah, I haven't played on Scrub City or Oldies, but I mean, hey, I'll go to Scrub City. Hey, what the heck? But no, I think this might be the last move for me.
Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you always
Maybe.
gotta move around, man. Change your location, change your jersey. I mean, you've got like probably 3 or 4 jerseys already this season, but that's good.
Yeah,
It's good. I mean, the cool thing about that is though you get to play with different group of people. You know what I mean? Even though you know everybody here, mostly everybody here in the league, but guys that come in, just being able to play a whole new group of guys, sometimes it's good, but we'll see. We'll see if this is your final uh, team that you rest on here for the remainder of the season. If not, I mean, there's still a lot of time till next Sunday, so
yeah, yeah. We'll see.
we'll see. All right, Big D. I know I was a bit tired.